I picked Penn State to win the national championship in the preseason, and I still believe that they are the best team in college football despite their slow start. The offense has been inconsistent. It's not executing at a high level. Drew Allar's QBR is outside of the top 100, and yet I still think Penn State is an elite team and the team to beat this year. And I want to explain why I think that is. So, number one, let's talk staff. This has been an Achilles heel of Penn State under James Franklin, not necessarily because the coordinators are bad, though some of them have certainly not been fits. Before we resume this segment, some great and free ways to support this channel are liking the video, watching it all the way through, commenting your thoughts down below. I love to hear your analysis, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel, and also hitting the notification bell. That way you can get notified when we go live or release new content. And don't just hit the notification bell for the channel. That's very helpful. But what's also helpful and free and useful to you, if you are a diehard fan of a specific team and want to get notifications whenever I make content about a specific team, not just my content in general, well, we have playlists for every Power 4 college football team, so the notification bell on any of those playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, there are ways to do so in the description, and you can sign up as a paid member. It's more so been the head coach, the head guy, James Franklin. James Franklin has not beaten a top 5 team since 2016. If you count the end ranking of the team that he beat, he has never beaten a top 5 team ever, because 2016 Ohio State, I think, finished 6th in the final AP and coaches poll due to Clemson beating him 31-0. So in a very cynical sense, you could say that Franklin has never beaten a top 5 team before. Doesn't bode well for the matchup against Oregon or Ohio State. However, it's taking it cynically. At the time he played Ohio State, they were number 2, outmatched Penn State a ton in talent. He beat him. He deserves credit for that win. And this is the best coordinator duo he's ever had. It's the best coordinator duo in America. Kotelnicki, at the bare minimum, is up there with Joe Moorhead, who was previously Penn State's best OC. Jim Knowles is factually, look at what he did at Oklahoma State, look at what he did at Duke, where Manny Diaz, I think he's an elite DC, or near elite at worst, and his Duke defenses are struggling too, because the talent's just limited. It's even more limited than Oklahoma State's talent. Look what Knowles did at Duke, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, and look at how this Penn State defense has played through 3 games. Knowles is better than Brent Pry. He's better than Manny Diaz. Straight up. He is Penn State's best defensive coordinator. He's the best defensive coordinator in America. I think that's facts. I think anyone saying that, you know, whether it's Matt Patricia, who's only been in college for a handful of games, and Texas's offense has been revealed to be a hot mess, just saying, or whether it is Phil Parker at Iowa. Their defense struggled last year a little bit. It's struggling this year. If you want to say Wake Martindale, whose defense is currently outside of the top 25 in efficiency yet again to start the year. You want to talk about Georgia's defense, which maybe Tennessee's offense is that elite, but maybe not. We'll have to see. I think it's pretty clear that Knowles, based on resume, is the nation's best defensive coordinator. I'm pretty confident in that. And for any of you who come in here and criticize that, because I know there's going to be people saying, no, he's not, he was overrated at Ohio State. Brent Venables got torched by Ohio State in 2020. Brent Venables got absolutely destroyed by 2015 Alabama and Jake Coker. Yeah, Jake Coker, he got killed by him. He got killed by Pittsburgh in 2016. Does that mean that Brent Venables was not an elite defensive coordinator, that he's overrated? Brent Venables had some defenses. He's had some defenses killed at Oklahoma before. I mean, relative to how inconsistent Tennessee's offense was, I don't quite know if that game against Tennessee last year was the best effort he could have put forth on defense. Same with how inconsistent Auburn was. I know they had no offense, just saying. And I don't think he really got cooked so far in his tenure at Oklahoma. But if you're going to hold those games against Jim Knowles, and if this type of person who's criticizing him, he's not infallible, but if you're going to say the standard is never allowing 30 points or more in a game, then you are going to want Matt Patricia fired by the end of the year. You just are. I've seen enough from the Texas game, and I've seen enough from that one play, the busted play from Ohio, where this Ohio State defense is not going to be a generational defense. It's not. If last year's was not a definite generational defense, and there's a debate surrounding that because of the Oregon game and efficiency metrics, and it was pretty close, then this Ohio State defense is just not going to be. I'm sorry. And I know maybe that was a rant specifically about the coordinators, but there's this energy on Twitter that Jim Knowles is actually overrated and Patricia's already the best DC in America. Like, let's calm down there. We've all seen what Texas's offense is. I was wanting to wait before coming out with that, but it's been a few games. Manning was more inaccurate and had a worse game against UTEP than he did Ohio State's defense. And as it pertains to Ohio or Grambling, those teams suck relative to Ohio State's talent level. Ohio's a good team, but Ohio State, even with much shakier defenses, has played good teams before and limited them offensively and killed them defensively because their talent profile is that massively bigger than their opponents. Penn State's experienced this before. They've been a victim of it. So let's calm down there. I think the evidence says that there's more of a debate around Kotelnicki than there is Knowles. He's the best DC in the land. As for the rushing offense, 9 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry, 581 rushing yards. It has had some shaky starts, like against Nevada, but ever since that, it's been good, and I think Penn State's playing with a basic playbook. Add on top of that, most opponents are stacking the box against Penn State, and Allar hasn't looked so hot. That makes this effort from the rushing offense look that much more impressive. Quarterback has been, honestly, through 3 games, a disaster. I just don't know whether or not that is because Allar's actually regressed, at which point, if he truly is that bad for the rest of the year, Penn State's not winning at all. Or if they're really limiting the scheme and they're being really paranoid about the Oregon game because they know the high stakes of it and they're hiding a bunch of stuff for that, which that could also backfire too. I just want to see more because I'm pretty confident Allar is not the 110th best quarterback in America, as his QBR would suggest. Pretty confident in that. I think that Penn State's receivers are upgraded. I think that their defense is elite. There isn't much substance to the receivers yet. I think that on film you can pick up on it, that they're faster, they do a better job catching footballs, they do a better job getting open. More importantly, I think they do a better job catching in coverage in a tight window. I know some of the deep shots to the end zone where whether it's Devontae Ross or Trevor Pena, Kyron Hudson, they've often been covered or they get a little bit of separation, but it's a tight window and they still get the touchdown and don't drop it. I think they are upgraded overall. Now, I don't think tight end is as good as Penn State had it with Tyler Warren, but again, we're only through 3 games and maybe they've reloaded there better than I think. Penn State's defense has only allowed 3 points in 178 minutes. They're 14 of their 17 points, because Nevada scored 11, Villanova scored 6, FIU didn't score any. 14 of their 17 points allowed came within the, I think, final minute of each of those games. So in 178 minutes, rotating players all across the board, I know it's bad competition, they've only allowed 3 points. It eerily reminds me of that, like, 2023 Michigan defense and last year's Ohio State defense, the 2023 Penn State defense, where it just didn't matter if anyone went down or they rotated. Those defenses pretty much always responded with rare exception. I think this is a legitimate defense. It will be tested by Oregon's legitimate offense, an offense that I think is elite, but we'll have to see. And last but not least is Penn State's been winning big. They've been dominating their opponents in points per play, in tempo-adjusted, what S&P Plus is, which is a tempo-adjusted power rating. They've been dominating them, factoring in tempo or any factors with, I would argue, pretty bad efforts. I don't think Penn State's played anything above their C game so far. C game. I think them playing their A game, if it is what I think it is, and I could be wrong, believe me, they could dominate some big-time opponents, I think, with the A game that they have. We'll have to see. Maybe it's showcased against Oregon, but then again, if Oregon plays their A game too, and they're as good as the metrics suggest, there won't be any domination. But I believe that Penn State is still the best team in college football. I think a lot of people are overreacting to these early results. That's why people think Miami is potentially the best team in America. That's why people think LSU's number 5. That's why people think that Oregon is number 1. That's, maybe why some people think Penn State's not a top 10 team. I'm not saying Penn State is number 1 for sure. Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, a lot of these schools have an argument to be number 1, but not as many as people think. And often in September, people overreact. You typically, as the power ratings do, you want to wait until October and November to really draw concrete results that aren't easily moved. Thank you so much for watching this segment on College Football with Sam. Before we close out here, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video around, comment your thoughts and analysis down below so I can read them and reply to them if I have the time. Members get priority replies, but I try to reply to everyone. And also hit the notification bell for the channel and also for any team playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, you can always super chat me in the comment section, but I prefer that you sign up as a paid member of the Patreon page or as a YouTube member, or that you can purchase some wonderful merchandise to represent us. I'll see you all soon and have a fantastic day.